As a child, I hated the Palestinians. I grew up in a house where knowing about Palestinian refugees was as important as eating your greens in other people's houses. Supposedly good for you, but God were they boring when adults went on about them. It was my grandparents who went on the most. So concerned were they, family legend has it, that age 50, they packed the Land Rover they used to bring in the logs with a ton of medicine and blankets, locked up their house in Ireland, and trundled across Europe in the general direction of Jordan.
Today in the Near East, a suffering people, the Palestine Arab refugees, are struggling for survival. 750,000 displaced human beings are dependent upon charity for their very existence.
I'm concerned with the miscarriage of justice and the double standards that go on with the Americans and the British over Palestine.
You don't forget a great injustice.
But sod's law, now I'm nearing them in age and wisdom. I wish for nothing more than to be sat at their kitchen table, hearing about their good work with the Palestinians. I've often sifted through my grandma's book where she'd collected the memories of 30 years of their aid work, wondering whether this is something I could do. So that's how it started. I didn't want to make a film about the Palestinians. I wanted to make a film about us. Flying over the desert that first time, I remembered my grandma sending me back across the fields to return a Jaffa orange I'd bought for her. "Don't ever buy things from Israel," she'd said. "Don't you know what they've done to the Palestinians?" Because this was a place that had always been talked about, I immediately recognised the names, but had no idea what to expect. So here I was, 30 years after walking across the fields with that orange, with only a guidebook in hand and my grandma's book, with all the places she and her husband had worked. What was I looking for? I wanted to meet their modern-day equivalents and see whether they were doing any good.